Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole. I'm an astrologer, card reader, and life coach, and this is my channel dedicated to all of those things plus spiritual topics in general. If you are new to my channel, you can always book a reading with me at my website, nicolebrenny.com. And I do life coaching sessions as well if you want just a life coaching session. So I just am coming on to my channel early today. I actually already have a live show scheduled in a couple of hours, but we have had such a chaotic, crazy event happening that I wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about it. I know that there are other astrologers that are sharing their opinions about this topic, which is the burning of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. But this I've really felt very personally. I think we all did, honestly, anybody that has been there or has spent time in Paris. So I thought that it would just be appropriate for me to share a little bit about my thoughts, my opinions, and how I feel that this fits into what we're experiencing in the world right now with the energies that we are battling with in general. So I'm going to try not to make this so specific, because I feel like this burning of the Notre Dame is such a symbolic, intensely symbolic intensely symbolic event. Okay. Sorry if I'm a little out of it. I was surfing all morning, so I'm just trying to get my head on straight. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Magic Cat, Maria, and Still Earth Journey. So nice to see all of you. So yeah, I'm still waking up a little bit. And sometimes when you're surfing, you just get thrown around and you get a bunch of water up in your sinuses and you can't think straight. So that's definitely happening with me. All right, so I'm going to take you guys into the chart. And I think some of this you will have already read, you will have already understood from other astrologers speaking about this topic, but I still want to take you in so you can see how everything lined up with the Notre Dame burning. Plus, Nostradamus did predict that this was going to happen. So I wanted to share that prediction with you and also show you how that fits in with this chart. So first off, I went online and I tried to find a timeline of the events of the Notre Dame burning. And it looks like, according to Paris time yesterday, it was at about 6:50 p.m. So that's what I based the chart off of, which would make this chart a Libra ascendant. So Libra is this ascendant, this sign of beauty and harmony and relationship, things working in harmony, things working together, like two people or two energies coming together. But it's also this beautiful sign of artistry. So something beautiful, artwork, something amazing to look at, because whenever something's amazing to look at, there's a certain type of harmony about it. So I think that that's interesting, because this building was super, super beautiful. And I think that it's really interesting that this is a sign of relationship, because I think that this is a very symbolic event, marking the balance between the masculine and the feminine, which I will get into. So then there are a few self factors that I'm going to look at for this chart. So first off, we have the ascendant lord. So since the rising sign is Venus, the rising sign is Libra, the ascendant lord, or the ruler of the chart, is Venus. And that goes into the 6th house. Mercury is there as well. And Mercury just happens to be the soul planet of this chart. So you guys already know how to find the soul planet. It's the planet in the highest number of degrees. So we have two factors here that are in the 6th house, which is obstacles, struggles, like overcoming enemies. But usually this is like a difficult sign of bad things happening, or a difficult house of bad things happening, not the sign, but the house. Okay, so obviously there's going to be some kind of a conflict that happens here. This is also in the 12th sign of Pisces. So it's kind of showing an ending of some sort. And Venus is very, very strong here. So Venus is going to do its best to overcome any enemies. But Venus is also a benefic or a gentle planet. So it's not really going to be able to do as much as maybe a cruel planet, if a cruel planet was exalted in this area of the chart. But it's doing its best. Then Sun, the natural Atmakaraka, so we all have Sun as our natural Atmakaraka, is here in the 7th house, very, very strong. And again, I feel like this is being very symbolic of how strong the masculine energy itself is. Okay, so those are just a few things. I'm going to get back to this masculine, feminine sort of thing in a second. So just hold that in your heart. Okay, and then I think now, obviously, you guys probably watch a lot of different astrology videos, and you've heard everyone talking about Saturn, Ketu, and Pluto all being together in Capricorn, and you've heard everyone saying this is the coming down of old structures. This is the end of old structures that we've relied on in our society. And we hear that kind of stuff and we think like really metaphorically about that. And we've been kind of waiting to see what that was going to be. And I think here that Saturn, Ketu, and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn is the falling apart or tearing down of old structures, quite literally the Notre Dame, which has been with us for centuries. So Saturn is a planet that represents old structures. Capricorn is a planet that represents old structures. Capricorn as a sign is represented by a crocodile in Vedic astrology, and crocodiles pretty much have not changed the way that they look or their evolution at all since the beginning of time. It's a very, very, very old species. It's like one of the oldest species that we still have that pretty much looks the same. I think one of the most interesting things about not Capricorn, but crocodiles as well, is that they can literally survive anything. Okay, so they can hold their breath underwater for like hours or something crazy. I was actually just watching a documentary about crocodiles the other day. They can hold their breath underwater for so long. They can live on land, they can live in fresh water, they can live in salt water. It's like they really are a species that can survive the test of time. And that is why they're ruled by Saturn, which Saturn is a planet that is enduring. It lasts for a very long time. It works very hard. It's looking towards the long-term future. Okay, so this is the difference between a building like the Notre Dame that has been with us forever and the kind of really crappy buildings that people build now where things fall apart in a couple of years and then you have to build yourself a new house. So both Saturn and Capricorn are showing this old structures. What's really intense about this is we have Ketu here and Pluto here. So Ketu here is this shadow planet of past karma. And it's also trying to like finalize something or perfect something. It's also can sometimes, separate a person from whatever it is impacting. So it's like, this is where we see like wanting to move away from or separate ourselves from these old structures. So Ketu is trying to get us away from the old structures. But Ketu is going to make an attempt to perfect that area as well, to purify it, to cleanse it, because Ketu is a spiritual planet. And Ketu is ruled by the number 9 in the systems that I study. And the 9 has to do with endings. So Ketu is trying to bring an end, a finality, a perfection, a purification, as it were, to the old structures. There is a saying in Vedic astrology, Ketu Kujavat. Kuja is Mars. Mars is a fiery planet. So Ketu actually brings this fiery element into this conjunction. Pluto is the destroyer. So everyone knows Pluto is the destroyer. Pluto is also the slowest moving planet. So I have studied Western astrology a bit. And whenever you have a transit that is brought upon by Pluto, it can be a pretty important transit because Pluto is the slowest moving of all the planets. So we really pay attention to Pluto transits. So Pluto as the destroyer, conjunct Ketu, the fire, the purifier, the ending, with Saturn in Capricorn. And Saturn in Capricorn is strong. It's not some kind of a weak structure that's been there for a long time. It's something powerful. It's something strong. And I think this conjunction with these planets being all within like a degree or so of each other. And here it's in the 4th house of this chart, which would be like real estate. It would be land. It would be something concrete that actually exists in real life, like a real material thing. It's bringing down the house. It's burning down the house, as it were. Then we can kind of ask ourselves, well, this is this personal chart for the event itself. But in general, we have had Rahu in Cancer. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. And first, let me see if anyone's saying anything or if my internet's working or not. And where are you? I've lost you all. Okay. So hello, everyone. We have you. I appreciate it. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna share the screen. And I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about this Cancer aspect. Okay, so, and can you guys see everything? Let me know. Everything is clear, because sometimes when I share the screen, my internet gets very slow. Okay, no one's saying anything, so I'm going back in. I'm going back in and I'm just hoping that everything works out the way that I'm foreseeing it will. Okay, so then we have Rahu, the north node of the moon, in the sign of Cancer. Okay, so yeah, my internet says that it's being unstable, so we're just going to do our best here. So the sign of Cancer has to do with the natural fourth house of the zodiac, and the fourth house in Cancer are all about the mother. So it's all about the mother, and it's all about emotions and nurturing, and it also has to do with home. It's also the chest. If we look at the signs for the different body parts, Cancer would be the chest. Okay, so when Rahu and Ketu are working together, we're trying to clear something up with Ketu so that we can move towards Rahu. And sometimes wherever Ketu is, it's trying to resolve its energy through Rahu. So all this energy in the sky is trying to resolve itself through Rahu, where Rahu is placed, which is the mother. So of course it was the mother that came down, because Ketu here, Saturn here, Pluto here are directing all of their energy towards Rahu, towards Cancer, the mother. This is also our roots. This is also where we've come from, where we've been. It's history. It's the historical aspect of ourselves. And in this specific chart, we see the ruler of Cancer is in the 12th house. The 12th house, again, is endings. So we see this massive attack towards the mother. What I think is so fascinating is that they've attacked the mother, right? The mother is the chest. Okay, so if we think about the moon as the mother is the chest. The sun as the masculine, as the father, is the heart. Where does the heart go? What part of the body is the heart in? The heart is in the chest. So any attack at the mother is ultimately an attack at the father. Any attack at the feminine is ultimately an attack at the masculine. You cannot have the masculine, you cannot have the sun without the moon, you cannot have the heart without the chest. And so I think what we're seeing here is, I think we're seeing a, you know, this super strong, and there's like, it's almost a square here, the super strong solar energy. And moon is in a sign of Virgo, which it's not, it's neutral there. It's not that happy there. And of course, moon sign is afflicted with Rahu. So we're seeing an attack at the feminine. And the reason why it's dealing with our religious beliefs and all that kind of stuff is because Jupiter is in the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius has to do with our belief systems. It has to do with beliefs that we've accumulated over time. And it's really a time for us to look at our beliefs, to really rethink our beliefs. Uranus is now in the sign of Taurus. So with that, you can see right here, we, in accordance with us rethinking our beliefs, we really have to consider what we're valuing. And what we're valuing is playing a huge role with this event, because if you look at the cards of truth for that date, which is loading currently, it might take too long, but here we go. I really hope you guys can see this. It was a 6 of diamonds, day when this happened. Okay, so Six of Diamonds is a card of luxury. It's a card of really enjoying the finer things in life, the real fancy things, okay? And so it doesn't seem like it would really be a day where something bad would happen. I mean, the only indication that we have is we have this Martian energy on the ecliptic. The Three of Spades is very Martian. It's very fiery and all of that. And we see here a Five of Hearts in the Rahu position, which is like the breakup card. It's this emotional disappointment, this emotional sadness. We also see on the Uranus card a big disruptive change, maybe relating with the Nine of Hearts to an emotional ending of some kind, with this nice quality of unconditional love showing through, trying to connect with something deeper and greater. And Uranus is being connected to the Ace of Diamonds, which is like a new start. So they're already talking about rebuilding this place. And this card, this Ace of Diamonds, becomes very important because the Six of Diamonds goes into it. So the card of the day yesterday really roots itself in this Ace of Diamonds. So having a new set of values, building a new Notre Dame, and from a place of actually wanting to be connected with everything, not just thinking selfishly about our own needs. So I really think that this whole Notre Dame thing is about our values. What are we valuing? And when we're putting luxuries above and beyond anything else, what are we actually destroying? I'm going to pull out of this Cards of Truth screen, but I'm still going to be referencing this. So later on, if you're watching the recording, you can go back and look at it. But I just need to save my internet speed here. I'm going to see what you guys are saying before I go deeper with this. Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm sorry that my video sucks, but we're working on it. I'm going to make a lot of videos when I'm in Minnesota because I have really high speed internet there. Okay, so it's really a question about what we're valuing. Okay, so I see in myself in the past, and I see in people around me currently, not everyone, but many people, they put luxury, money above and beyond anything and everything else. What is the mother? The mother is nature. The mother is our precious planet Earth. It's Mother Nature, right? And we're putting money above everything else. The Six of Diamonds, luxury, the fancy things that we can have, the fancy clothes that we can wear, makeup, all this kind of stuff. I mean, I quit wearing makeup and stuff when I moved here. But the more and more that I see the world being destroyed around me, the more that my reason to like not wear makeup all the time and to not buy expensive clothes all the time is not because I don't want those things, but because I can see that they contribute to a terrible state of our natural world. The Six of Diamonds card spread is balanced by the Eight of Spades. That's right in the center of the spread. It's the Mercury card of the Six of Diamonds spread. And the Eight of Spades is, from all of my research, the card that explains nature itself. It is the card of nature. So this Six of Diamonds spread is saying true luxury is the natural world. It's the natural beauty that you can interact with and that you can enjoy without having to do anything, without having to take any action. It's just there for you to see, there for you to be one with. But then we have stories, like a story just popped up in my feed today of this beautiful poppy field in California, which is literally being absolutely destroyed, not by a forest fire, not by heavy rainfall, not by anything like that, but by people taking Instagram photos and trampling over all the poppies and sitting on all the poppies and ruining them. So our own vanity, our own luxury, our own whatever sponsored photo on Instagram, our vanity, our greed is destroying nature. And we are going to continue to interact with nature in a way where we can't interact with nature unless we capture it, unless we own it, unless we wear it, unless we make it ours, we put it on a leash and we make it dependent upon us to feed, bathe, and clothe it for the rest of its life. We're going to continue acting that way until we look around us and we see that there's no nature left. You know, people come, they move to Costa Rica, and I try to be like as low impact as possible, even though I'm sure I'm not perfect. Like I'm positive I'm not perfect. But I see people come here and they love the nature. So they're like, okay, I'm going to buy some land here. And what they do is they cut down all the trees. I've heard of 500-year-old mango trees being cut down. I've heard of like ancient, like magical trees being cut down, like trees that are widely revered and honored here being cut down. And all this is being cut down so that people can have a better view of the ocean, and so that they can throw super, super loud parties where people litter all over the beach. And so all the nature that they came here to enjoy starts to leave. All the animals leave the tree. There aren't any trees for them to live, so they move deeper into the jungle. All the fish that they came here to eat get poisoned, so they no longer have fish to eat. And the weather, the beautiful weather that they came here to enjoy, is completely ruined, because without the forest canopy, the jungle canopy, there is no regulation of precipitation. So the dry season is drier and longer, and the wet season is crazier. So there is no like temperate, moderate, beautiful temperatures that there were before. Like we've completely lost our ability to honor Mother Nature and to take care of her. And I think it has been because of this overblown solar energy, this overblown masculine energy. But we need to understand the heart is in the chest. You cannot have a heart that beats without the chest to keep it safe. So I think this is a huge message. And I know when I first heard about the Notre Dame, my first reaction was to just cry, and there is definitely a lot of history there with me, because one of my biggest passions in life when I was young was studying French. And I actually taught myself how to speak French. And I was able to go to college while I was still in high school. And I skipped like 3 levels of French in college because of how much I had studied on my own. I won a scholarship. I got to go to France. And one of the places that I went to was the Notre Dame Cathedral, which represented for me the incredible amount of hard work that I put into my passion, and this like reward for all of that, but also pictures of me there somewhere. I think they might have gotten deleted, but that's also symbolic, I guess. But I remember that moment. I remember sitting in there, and to me, it was like my first reaction was super, super emotional. And I think a lot of people felt that way. And I think it's symbolic not only of like our belief systems with like the church, but also our belief systems with like life in general. We need to really think about our actions and how we're putting luxury and vanity above and beyond the beautiful earth that we live in, that provides everything for us. The earth provides food, shelter, clothing naturally. We don't have to destroy it in order to have those things. So let me see if you guys can see me. Yes, please don't say anything racist or sexist or anything in my chat. I will not tolerate it. Okay, I have no idea why people are giving this video a thumbs down. It's kind of rude because the message is beautiful, and I think that it's a problem if you can't see that this is a problem. I'm not even talking about myself here. I'm literally just talking about like a huge issue we're having on this planet that we need to all like take care of. Okay. Now, finally, Nostradamus predicted this, and this is super interesting. So he said, the head of Aries, Jupiter, and Saturn, God eternal, what changes can be expected following a long century? Evil will return. France and Italy, what emotions will you undergo? Notre Dame is engulfed in flames. Emotion of the whole nation. Thoughts are with Catholics and all the French. Like all citizens, I am sad to see this part of us burn. The head of Aries, we had the sun in Aries. Jupiter. So the head, basically the head means like the ruler. The head of Aries, so like sun is exalted in Aries, so that was strong. Then Jupiter was in its own sign. So the head of Sagittarius, Jupiter was in Sagittarius. And then the head of Capricorn, Saturn was in its own sign of Capricorn. So it's kind of like a riddle, but people are saying that Nostradamus predicted this. So why the head of Aries, Jupiter, and Saturn makes sense is because Sun was in Aries where it's exalted, Jupiter was in its own sign, and then Saturn was in its own sign. And that is a very, very rare combination that doesn't happen all the time because of how slow Saturn's transit is and how slow Jupiter's transit is. Like the sun is always going to be in Aries, but Jupiter has a 12-year cycle. Saturn also has a 27.5-year-ish cycle. Okay. And yeah, I believe that he did predict it. So I want to see what you guys are saying. I just feel really emotional about this. And it also is making me rethink a lot of the things that I do. I honestly feel like I've stopped a lot of my negative impact in the world. Like I even try not to fly very many places anymore. I try to take the fewest trips I possibly can. I have to actually leave Costa Rica at this time while I'm gonna get my like actual citizenship. So you have to like leave every now and then in order to renew your visa. So I have to still do that. But like, it's like even air travel is so destructive to this planet. So really, I think this is a sign like Mother Nature is crying, and our whole like feminine based belief system is suffering. And there's so much more I can say about this. There's so much more I can say about this. I'm not going to say it in a video. I'm doing a lot of writing on things of this nature, which will be released much later, probably maybe even later in my life. But it's very important that we think about these things. It's very important that we, you know, actually pay attention to the impact that we're having. Like when I saw this article about people destroying the poppy fields just for their Instagram, that came out this morning. It just made me think like, or maybe it didn't come out this morning, but it appeared in my life this morning. And to me, it was just like another layer of all of this. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? It doesn't even make any sense. It's like moving to Costa Rica and being like, oh my God, I love nature so much. And then you chop down like 10 trees in your yard, which is like the home to 1,000 monkeys. It doesn't make any sense. Like people are so, and I know I am the same way. We're all this way. We really need to understand that we have a role as guardians of this beautiful, beautiful world. And it's up to us, and it's not up to our governments. It's not up to some policymaker. It's literally up to you to see who you're buying things from. Like I'm starting to grow my own food here. Like we all have to start doing stuff like this. And it's not like, oh, you know, you're so weird or so eclectic or something. Like it's not even about that anymore. It's like, this is literally something that needs to happen. It doesn't matter how like cool or quirky you are. It's not about being quirky or alternative. It's about being realistic. Like I'm a very logical, realistic person on top of all of my crazy astrology card stuff. I'm very practical when it comes down to it. So I'm not trying to be like all unicorns and fairies or something like, oh, it's so wonderful to plant my own mango tree and eat my own mangoes. It's not even about that. It's literally like the system we have is not working. We all need to do something differently. And no one's going to tell us, okay, now's the time to do it differently. It's just not going to happen. Like go research and study the situation in Venezuela. You know, that's like a real thing that's really happening on this planet right now. And then ask yourself, okay, what am I doing to like learn how to provide for myself and take care of my world and not contribute to this disaster? And actually, I'm really optimistic. I don't think it's a disaster, but I am like pretending like it's like a horrible situation in some ways, just to like, you know, maybe influence some people to think about how they're living their life and to realize that, you know, every single animal, every single like annoying animal even has its place in this ecosystem. And when we destroy one part of our ecosystem, everything else is affected. Like I said before with the trees, when you cut down a bunch of trees and you have a better view, you might be like, oh, well, it's just a couple of trees. But that literally affects the entire canopy of the forest, and the precipitation changes and everything gets messed up. If the precipitation changes, the crabs don't know when to come out to lay their eggs. And so there are no crabs. And then all the creatures that need to eat crabs can no longer eat crabs, and everything gets screwed up. So we have to really think that we're all connected. And because the Ace of Diamonds was so strong in this spread for this event, and it was connected with the Nine of Hearts. The Nine of Hearts is this card of we all are one. not just humans, but like everything, the plants, the animals, we're all one. We need to think about one person's victory as all of our victories, one person's suffering as all of our suffering, one animal's suffering as all of our suffering, you know, all this kind of stuff. We need to think that we're all connected. It's so hard to do when you've been raised in like a Western society. It really is hard, because I was raised to think I'm the best, I'm the greatest, and all this kind of stuff. I wasn't raised to think like, oh, we're all, you know, my actions affect everyone else. Maybe you guys had a better moment in history. I was raised Catholic. I don't know. So that's all I have to say. I guess maybe I'm just feeling passionate about this, but whatever. Take it for what you will. Throw it away if you think it's garbage. But that's my take on this symbolism. It's honestly like made me want to hug a tree, like hug the ground. And yeah, I'm just going to do whatever I can for the rest of my life to take care of Mother Earth. And a lot of the reason I ever even, when I was a kid, like I had this obsession where I wanted to be rich and famous by being like Britney Spears. I'm being honest with you guys. That was my dream. I don't have that dream anymore. And you can watch, I made a video recently where I told you guys a lot of my ambition faded away. But honestly, at the root of that ambition was that I wanted to be famous enough where people would listen to me. And so that I could create a nature conservation place to conserve nature, to just buy a bunch of land so people couldn't do anything with it. And I still want to do that. So if you are a wealthy person and you want to work with me on that, I think maybe now's the time. But I'm serious. I'm going to do that one day. And I think it's important. That's what I used to want to do when I was a kid. And I'm lucky that I love astrology and the cards. So I just do astrology and the cards because I love it. But that dream has never left me. And it became stronger when I was seeing all this stuff happen yesterday. So take care of the earth. Take care of the earth. Take care of the earth. Okay, let me see what you guys have to say, then I'm going to go. Everyone is here. Philip is here. I have to message you after this. Phoenix Journey. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Tiger is here as well. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm so glad that some of you were able to join me. And I know a lot of people are grieving this, especially the French. And yeah, pay attention to what you're doing on this planet. I will see you guys in like an hour. I'm going to change my outfit. Then I'm going to hang out with Party Trick Astrology talking about clothes. So I will be back today. I just wanted to share this stuff with you guys. Okay. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you soon. And subscribe if you haven't. Give this video a thumbs up, not for me, but for Mother Earth herself. And maybe if you guys want me to share more of my journey in all this, like wanting to be more of a guardian of nature and of Mother Earth, I can do that. I don't know if I can do that on this channel, but I can try to share more of that on like my personal pages. I'll be happy to do that. If that's inspiring for you, definitely let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. I love you. I'll see you later. Bye.